Hey everybody, what's going on? It's your man Azriel. Mad y'all. Had a good football Sunday with my son. He's mobbing out, watching the Giants. Finally, playing football for once. Against the Texans, and that was a really good game. Congrats to Big Blue on their first win. It's about time. They got it together. I ain't mad at you. I need to make a video. Normally, I don't really like interacting with this YouTuber. But I feel at this point, I need to get down to business. I need to call it out. I need to put the cards on the table. I need to expose the lie. So, for this, before I get into this video, y'all know how this works. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video. Click an ad. The ad will help generate the funds. The funds will go towards buying equipment, buying the software programs. I still haven't forgotten about those guys who have some interest in my gaming channel. I'm working up how I'm going to do my content for that channel. I'll be doing at least 3 different types of videos. One for mobile gaming, one for consoles reviews and game reviews. And if I can get my stuff together, I will do, Let's Plays. And I'll try to, get a Let's Play for some games and let y'all see how that works. Also, I am currently working on doing some dubstep. So if I get pretty good with doing some dubstep beats, there's going to be a channel for that. So if you guys like the alternative music, I'm going to try to get up on that. If it works out, I'll put some music out there. If y'all like it, y'all can go subscribe to that channel too. Now, if you guys aren't aware of my previous video, it was addressing Tyrone Thompson. And I'm going to put the link to that video in the box so you guys can go up, watch that video, and see what the questions was that I asked. So I'm not going to really rehash that. But I need to come out here, Tyrone, and I need to be honest. I didn't watch the whole of your video. I found it was too full of shit for me to sit through. Whatever your issues are with Mike Allfax, it's none of my business. Whatever issues you have with Brown Beasley, again, none of my business. Whatever issue, well, I know what your issue with Tommy Sotomayor, and even then, that's none of my business. So why am I making this video? Because I need to come out and repudiate this man for telling a lie. Anybody with common sense who has heard Tyrone all this week responding, or if you want to call it a response, to the question, what are you going to do to get Clifton out of jail? You should clearly notice a few things. Number one, this man is shucking and jiving, got his coon shoes on, bojangling, tap dancing his ass around the fucking issue. Why? It's a very simple question, Tyrone. Either you're going to raise the money or not. Stop pointing fingers at Big J Triple X and all these other people saying, why don't you raise the money? Because see, what you're telling other people is that you don't give a shit about Clifton. But weren't you the same man that just said in your own video, hey, I'm trying to, get a program together to discuss black issues and talk about the black people coming together. So if black folk are supposed to come together, Tyrone, answer me why your brother has been sitting in jail for a week in the worst jail in the country. And you have not put any money on his books. You have not written this man a letter. You have not sent this man a lawyer. Because if you did, you would easily produce that proof. We had people calling in onto the Wood Grain show on Friday, and even on the Wood Grain radio, one caller was told, if you put up some money and you can show how much you put up, Monty and Marty would match it. Let's keep this honest. When Clifton's enemies are more likely to consider putting money together to bail him out of jail, and the people who are his supporters won't even contribute a damn dime, how are you, Tyrone, able to stay out your pie hole? How are you able to get up and say straight from out of your mouth that you're about bringing black folk together. I'm not even really gonna get into this whole white supremacy got your brother locked up, because that shit would take me off topic. Matter of fact, I am gonna address some of it. That whole white supremacy got Clifton locked up is bullshit. You know what got Clifton locked up? Clifton. What white man would scheme on a black man who's 40 years old, that lives at home with his mother, who has no real discernible form of income, that spends his time threatening people online, threatening to rape somebody's daughter, making fun of somebody's wife and his children, talking about this person is gay, how you're going to go to this, that, and the third, and whoop their ass and do all kind of shit. How did white supremacy fix that? You know what you sound like, sir? A straight up dumbass. A tinfoil hat wearing, pot smoking, drug abusing, cocaine sniffing jackass. I can't say it no plainer than that. And the fact that you refuse to do your due diligence to show everybody, hey, I know about it and here's my stance, well, it's appalling. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to point you back to my video called The Coon Factor. Now, if you watch that video, The Coon Factor, and I'm going to put that link in the box also, this is the type of motherfucker I'm talking about. The salesman of black salvation. You know, the kind of guy that will sit around and tell you, oh, we need to come together and do all this shit, but yet and still his man is locked up in a fucking prison system. And he hasn't raised a finger nor dollar to bail his brother out. How strange can you get? This is a man, ladies and gentlemen, that will talk about white supremacy, talk about how the system is stepping on the back of the necks of black folk, but you see your brother laying on the wayside, and you don't want to help him? I'm scratching my head here. Remember, you're the one who talks about you were an NCO and you were leading soldiers. Well, then, from one soldier to another, even though I was a junior enlisted member when I got out. But still, from one soldier to another. Remember that thing called the warrior ethos? I will always place the mission first. I will never accept defeat. I will never leave a fallen comrade. Well, let's look at that last line for a second. I will never leave a fallen comrade. How can you be about the black community and your brother's fallen and you gonna leave him? See, that's the shit in that video I was talking about. Niggas like Tyrone. And I'm speaking to the audience at this point and not this man specifically. This is a man that will tell you that we need to come together, we need to build economic solidarity and be about the black community. Yet, for some fucking reason, he feels it's okay to leave a fallen comrade. So by that same example he just showed y'all, ladies and gentlemen, you cannot, in any good conscionable reason, put faith in a man like this, because guess what happens when you fall? He's going to leave you. Which means the only thing that matters to Tyrone Thompson is, well, Tyrone Thompson. And you mean to tell me y'all trust that? This is a man who has attacked another man for over 2 years on the internet, talking about he's a fraud, a coon, and all this other shit. But guess what? This is a man that turned around, and I'm saying Tommy Sotomayor by referencing that man. But this man, Tommy Sotomayor, who didn't know a brother at all in Philadelphia, turned around and went and got another man out of jail that he didn't even fucking know. And then put money in his pocket. Now you tell me, who's the bigger coon here? The man who took it upon himself that didn't know his brother from a hole in the wall, from Adam, bailed him out of jail, got him back on the street, put some bread in his pocket and helped him keep his head up. Or the man who sat up here for a couple of months with his own show, dedicated to fucking with another man, sees his right hand, the man that was pretty much the face of the franchise, get locked up for domestic battery, a Class A misdemeanor, unless Cliff has a prior history in which it's a Class 4 felony. get knocked. It's been sitting in Cook County for just about a week. And hasn't done one goddamn thing. Ask yourself, how can you trust this person? Let me get back to you, sir. So, we got that out of the way. The white supremacy angle. If I didn't ask this, I'm going to ask this now. How did Tommy Sotomayor make fun of it? Because Tommy Sotomayor didn't even know about it right off the cuff. And we exposed this out on the Wood Grain radio show on Friday. And I'm going to see if I can put the link in the box for that too. Simpin Cliff was the one who exposed it to everybody. And the same day that Cliff got knocked was the same day it made it on the YouTube. So ask yourself, did Tommy know about it on the same day it got out? No, somebody brought it to him. Now, I want to explain to you why people are laughing in case you haven't gotten it. Cliff is a man who has threatened people. Cliff is a man who has been catfished by trolls. Cliff is a man who lives at home with his mother, who's taken ill, so I'm not even going to take shots at his mom or even make fun of his living situation. Cliff is a person whose reputation has preceded him. And every time he talks about another man beating a woman, specifically in this case, Tommy Sotomayor, we can't all but help notice that you're getting charged with domestic battery with touching. So, what the other words means is Cliff has put his hands on somebody who is a domestic member of his household, who's domestic to him. Could be his mother, and I hope to God that's not true. It could be a female cousin, a girlfriend, a niece, a nephew, a niece, a sister, an aunt, grandmother. Who knows? We aren't finding it funny. We're finding it ironic. And because it's ironic, it has some amusement to it. But nobody's making fun of it. Well, at least anybody who is not a troll. Now, the trolls, on the other hand, they're having a field day with it. And you know what? As much as I don't condone it, I personally ain't going to stop him. Cliff brought it on himself. But the thing is, Tommy never made fun of it. But he has asked the question, why aren't you helping him out? And see, when I exposed your type in that video, the coon factor, I was basically foreshadowing the type of person that you would show yourself to be, Tyrone. You are what we call a coon. Because you're doing exactly what the white liberal base expects you to do. You're living up to the expectations of your white liberal slave master. You know, the guy that tells you everything is racist and everybody's trying to step on your neck and the only thing you can trust is us, the white Democrat. You know, that guy. I'm not going to repeat myself when I said in that video. If you want to know what I said in that video and in subsequent videos like it, leave me a request in the box and I will send it to you via private message. See, Tyrone, you made this claim and you have no evidence to show that Tommy even proliferated what was said. But he did make a video addressing it, and he did do a blog talk show addressing it. Now, you may be up in your feelings because you think he's making fun of it. But then again, Tyrone, when it comes down to anything Tommy Sotomayor, apparently you need an economy-sized bottle of fucking Midol and a year's supply of fucking Tampax. Because apparently you get real butthurt. Because up until now, you have not been able to refute anything this man has said or done. You've trolled him. You say things that are completely unfounded. And I know this to be for a fact because in one of those instances, you lied on me. The point is, you are shucking and jiving, you are tap dancing around the issue, and I would think anybody that would support Talk Real Solutions ought to call you on that. Why can't you answer the fucking question? It's that simple. It's either you're going to support him or you're going to repudiate him. Now, this whole thing about you, and I want to go back to this thing you said again about, bringing a blog talk show together about the black community coming together and doing all this shit. Funny you should say that when you have a racist cunt like Ocean floating around, who has a vitriolic hate against white folk in America for shit that black folk can easily correct. And by the way, she's even divisive against her own people. Haven't you noticed that? I've heard the conversations where she attacked another sister who was from the Caribbean. And you give that bitch a pass? And we're jealous or we're trying to get after her? Really? Maybe what you heard on the Wood Grain show, you took that and ran with it. I guess the guys were being facetious, but you don't know what the word facetious means. Because I guess most of them were being pretty flippant or flip paint, but you are very literal. So let me shy away from that so you don't hurt yourself thinking about it. Funny. And I'm going to give you an example. That yellow, green, and black you normally see on my headrest shows where my grandparents came from. And even though I have an issue with bone picker, I've had one, the man said he's from the island. All right. If he's from the island, he's from the island. Even though I got a problem with that man personally, even though I'm American born and he might not be, there's no reason for me to shit on him because I was born in America and he's not. But we're both black, and at the end of the day, according to your logic, regardless of where you're from, the rest of the world sees you as black, and unfortunately for you, you get lumped in with everybody. So if that is the case, and if that's what you're purporting, correct me if I'm wrong. If that's what you're purporting, then how the fuck do you allow this crazy bitch to get on this platform and say some of the most vitriolic, despicable things ever heard? I want to know. Because to me, the first time she opened her K-code and said some shit that was out of line should have been the last time she ever got on my show. That's right, Tyrone. But you don't give a fuck. You claim to be about the black community, and yet I haven't seen anything really that brings anybody together. Because you give females a pass. You won't stick up for your brother. You deify a black vagina. It can do no wrong in your eyes, even when it's clear as day these bitches be out of line. And what's even more funny is the females that used to support you are saying the same things that most people who's been against you from Front Street are saying, because the blinders have come off. Tyrone, what you did with Cliff, or this mishandling of the Cliff situation, is almost as being on par with Roger Goodell and the Ray Rice / Adrian Peterson. A complete dropping of the ball. And instead of just being a man and say, you know what, I didn't do my due diligence and I didn't address it, I'm sorry, let me go look into it. After I've looked into it, I will let you know if we're going to move in this direction. You just completely ignore it altogether. And the theory has something to do with Ocean, or Ocean's telling you need to back away from Cliff. And then you wonder why blacks like me put no faith in niggas like you. Just saying. I mean, it's evidently clear that you are grasping for straws and you don't know which way the fuck you want to turn. So I had to take this video and call this shit out. Tyrone, real talk, you are not about the black community. And this whole shit with Clifton shows it. Because any man that cares about the black community, right, wrong, or indifferent, if he believes in that brother, he's going to come up with that buy money. Now, let me, if I didn't say this earlier, and I'm pretty sure I did, but I'm going to say it again. It's funny when Cliff's enemies can come up with the idea, at least, to help get this man some money on the books, even if they don't want to support the measure themselves. Hell, even on Wood Grain Radio, one of the callers was complaining about it, and they said, if you put up some money, we'll match you. I'll be honest, on my baby boy, I had honestly and strongly thought to take some money, if I could, get some money together and bail this brother out. After I've done all of taking care of everything else I need to take care of in my personal life at that moment, that if I had some money I could still contribute, Get this man out. Fuck bonding him out. I'd pay his bail. I thought about it. And I would just do that on the sole strength of showing you a nigga that does, nigga, we don't like each other, but this is how you know I actually give a fuck about the black community. I came down here in person and bailed your black ass out. Remember, Tyrone, you're out of state. You can call anytime you want. You can visit anytime you want. So why you ain't call him? Why didn't you put money on his books or send him a lawyer? But you care about the black community? I'm not even going to get on with this conspiracy theorism and sedition that you have going on your show on Monday nights. But I pretty much am sure I'm going to send it to Blog Talk Radio, and I am going to send it to the VA. I'm pretty sure I'm going to do that at some point because it's absolutely disgusting. And here it is, you who's served the country proudly for 20 years, engage in this shit. You so against the government now and so against all this other shit. Because you allow Mandela Khan to get on a platform and say what the fuck you want to say. So by all means, by your silence, you condone it. And you have the audacity to put it on a black power, but you're talking about sedition and racism. Look, I can't even go any further with this. I just can't. Because the very thought of it just irritates me. You irritate me. Not for anything personal, but because you are perpetrating a fraud and you are like these so-called preachers on these corner churches in the black community that sit around pimping these black women, bastardizing the whole black community instead of doing what they were meant to do, which was bring the gospel, bring truth, bring love and peace to one's community, to feed the poor and the hungry. You're like those guys. You sell them a pipe dream and dangerous doctrine, and you steal the food right off the plate, meager rations and all. Anybody with sense should not fuck with you. And if you got a problem with what I've said, by all means make a video. Matter of fact, please inbox me. I'll call your show. Hell, I'll even give you one of my phone numbers. You can talk to me directly and record the conversation. Because enough is enough, Tyrone. If you're about the black community, do me a favor. Put up or fucking shut up. And if you don't like what I got to say about all this, then be honest with you, you got to get over it. Because when you come to this channel looking for change and solutions, change starts with one. Peace.